Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive into a deeply troubling question that is making headlines across the globe. Are we being pushed into war? In recent months, tensions between major powers have escalated, and what once felt like distant diplomatic disagreements now appears to be inching closer to the edge of full-scale conflict. The question is not just about politics or military posturing, it's about the future of our world, the security of nations, and the survival of millions. When we examine the exterior of the situation, it's clear that the global stage is dominated by visible signs of confrontation. From warships patrolling contested waters to military exercises in sensitive regions, the display of power is hard to miss. Countries are moving forces, upgrading weapons systems, and making public declarations that leave little doubt about their readiness for confrontation. The geopolitical landscape looks like a chessboard where every move is calculated, but the pieces are now far more dangerous than in any game. They are nuclear-armed and technologically advanced. Inside this tense environment, the interior dynamics are equally unsettling. Behind closed doors, governments are engaging in intense intelligence operations, secret negotiations, and cyber warfare. Leaders are under pressure from domestic politics, alliances, and public opinion, forcing them to make decisions that could escalate tensions. The military-industrial complex is working at full capacity, producing advanced weapons systems that are quietly being deployed. These internal pressures, while less visible than tanks or jets, are the engines driving the external show of force. The performance of the players in this dangerous game is worth analyzing. Superpowers are deploying fleets, stealth aircraft, and hypersonic missiles to demonstrate dominance. Smaller nations are aligning themselves with one side or another, hoping to secure protection or strategic advantage. Sanctions, trade restrictions, and propaganda campaigns are all part of the performance, each action intended to weaken the opponent without firing a single shot. Yet history shows that such moves often fail to stop wars. In fact, they sometimes make them inevitable. Safety features, in this context, are the fragile mechanisms meant to prevent escalation. Diplomatic talks, peace summits, and international organizations like the United Nations are supposed to act as brakes on conflict. But these safeguards are under strain. Trust between nations is eroding, arms control agreements are being abandoned, and lines of communication are narrowing. Even the concept of mutually assured destruction, which once kept nuclear powers from pressing the button, is now seen by some as a bluff rather than a guarantee. Unique selling points in this grim scenario come from the strategies nations use to project power and secure influence. Some countries rely on cutting-edge technology, like artificial intelligence-driven drones and space-based surveillance. Others bank on energy dominance, controlling vital oil and gas supplies to pressure their rivals. Some wield soft power, cultural influence, economic partnerships, and information campaigns, to win allies without firing a shot. But the darker truth is that these selling points can also be tools to corner opponents, leaving them with no choice but to respond aggressively. When we consider the price, it's not measured in dollars alone, it's counted in lives, stability, and the survival of civilizations. A major war in today's interconnected world would disrupt economies, destroy infrastructure, and cause unprecedented loss of life. The cost of rebuilding would be astronomical, but even more devastating would be the social and psychological scars left behind. Refugee crises, collapsed governments, and a shattered global order could be the long-term legacy of one reckless step too far. In conclusion, we are living in a moment where the warning signs are clear for those willing to see them. Military buildups, aggressive rhetoric, and collapsing diplomatic safeguards all point toward a dangerous trajectory. Whether this ends in war or peace depends on decisions being made right now in capital cities around the world. The only way to avoid disaster is through deliberate, sustained efforts to de-escalate tensions, restore trust, and recognize that in a nuclear-armed age, victory in war is an illusion, survival is the only win. The grave situation we face is not inevitable, but without awareness and action, we may find ourselves dragged into a conflict no one truly wants, yet no one can stop once it begins.